Welcome to EntreProgrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, the podcast where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of three developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
All right, we're live.
Awesome.
And just for you, Josh, Alexa, turn on the office lights.
Oh, there we go.
Took a moment.
Derick, you missed the absolute fail that was that demonstration last week. It was pretty comical. It was a good 5 minutes of John trying the same thing over and over and expecting it to fall, right?
Isn't that the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing, expecting different results.
It was pretty comical. So
nice.
Yeah.
all right. Those are your softbox lights, right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Nice.
Yes. So I have it set up. I've actually been having fun with home automation stuff. I did a bunch of I bought a bunch of these smart outlets like that you plug in. Okay. And those seem to work good. Like I've got the one for my office that turn on these lights. They're both plugged into an extension cord. And it's actually quite useful because, I'm constantly turning these on and off if I'm shooting video or doing a conference. I don't want them blaring in my face when I'm not.
Yeah.
And then I set some up outside for the Christmas lights. And then
nice.
I set some up inside for the Christmas tree. And so those we can just with Alexa, we can turn on or off any of those. And we also set timers, like schedules for them as well. So it's actually working out pretty good. I think the Alexa tech is going to be, once you have all of this stuff, once the home automation stuff becomes more prevalent and it's just kind of the default, then Alexa is going to be extremely, extremely useful.
Yeah, right. Yeah, being able to schedule lights off and on is pretty useful.
Yeah,
not as useful as
one of my friends here in Waco, though, he's got one of an Alexa, but he has grade school kids. So every day when they come home, first thing they do when they walk in the door, Alexa, play Who Let the Dogs Out.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours plays Elvin and Chipmunks quite a bit.
Nice.
I can't stand Elvin and Chipmunks because it's like
I know.
It ruins good music. And then you can't it's like you listen to it, like you're sucked in because you're like, oh, I like this tune. But then you realize you're listening to this like high pitched version of it. And you're like, oh gosh, I just ruined that song for myself. Like, why am I listening to this? And I'm enjoying it. This is horrible. I was like,
hey Chuck, we can see your icon, but not there. You go. There's Chuck.
There's your beautiful face.
I know.
We can hear you too. So,
yay!
No video or audio issues today. I had to reboot my Mac though shortly before we jumped on, so I think I would have been the one.
And literally, as Josh says that, his video freezes and his voice crackles.
Am I back?
I think you're really fuzzy, but you're back.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, you're back.
All right.
Oh,
good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
My wife has a sinus infection.
Oh man,
I've had chest cold and pneumonia and sinus infection, and it's been awful for the last month.
I'm sick too. So we all need to move to San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sick. It's just it's all that, and then my daughter fell down, and we thought she had broken her arm yesterday. It turned out she hadn't, so that's good. My 1-year-old, and then I had to drive. So I was at the doctor's office, and then I had to take my 11-year-old to the doctor's office for his ADHD checkup. Yeah. And I was doing phone screenings all day between those two doctor's visits.
Oh yeah.
So, nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have 13 phone screenings scheduled for today.
Oh man. Chuck, you need an extra step in this process.
Yeah.
I mean, you're killing it. I'm shocked at how many applications you got. What was the total?
105.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, there needs to be an extra step in here somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Yeah. I put a really high bar, actually. Just recently, I published a video on the YouTube channel, and I said, if you bring me $50,000, I'll give you a job. I honestly did, because I had mentioned this before, like about how, like, you know, that I told people, I was like, there's 3 ways that you can grow a business. And I said, this is like, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to know this. If you're applying for a job, you need to know this, because this is what you have to demonstrate. 1, you can increase the number of customers. 2, you can increase the value that you get from the business gets from the customers. Or 3, you can decrease the costs to deliver the product or service. And that's it. That's the only 3 ways you can make more money in a business. And I was like, if you bring me those things, right, that's it. So I basically did this whole thing, because people always ask, oh, can I do an internship, or can I partner with you or join you in some way? And so what I just threw it out there, I was like, for those of you that, like, here's the thing. If you bring me $50,000, and I don't mean like a $50,000 idea, but if you bring me $50,000, if you're like, look, this is what I did, John. I started promoting your YouTube channel and did this, and did you see that 50 grand that came into your bank account from the sales that you made? Like, then you're on, you got a job.
See, what's going to happen though is I'll claim credit for that.
There you go. That's right.
What 50,000?
No, that was the promotion I ran on that thing. Let me go figure out what I did real quick.
It's the extreme side of it. Like, I doubt that. I mean, maybe one person will eventually ever do that. But if they do, they're an instant hire. Like, it's the extreme side. I mean, you need a different, a less extreme version of that. But I mean, that's like a guaranteed. It's like, I just wanted to throw that out there, so that if there is someone out there that's got that capability. And it's funny too, because a lot of people were skeptical. They're like, this sounds like a bad deal. Like, why would
hold on, I'm gonna go empty my savings account so that I can pay you to give me a job.
Well, I mean, that's one way to do it, right? That's one way to do it.
That's the worst way to do it, though. That's like the complete opposite of what you're asking for.
But the thing is that it's the value proposition. You just reorganize the order. You know, I'll hire you to bring in $50,000 worth of business.
Right.
Well, if you bring me $50,000 worth of business, then I'll hire you.
Right.
Right. And see, the thing is, like, well, if someone could make that money, why would they? No. You're missing it. I have a network of resources and processes and systems, and like, I'm lending you my whole network, my whole business model for you to utilize. And if you can utilize it right now and make 50 grand, then you can become part of it and utilize it in the future to make a lot more money and learn how the system works. Like, I'll let you in. And that's a huge bit. So there's some people that just miss it completely. They're like, oh, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, you're never going to get it. You're not ever. Don't worry. You have no capability of actually achieving the bar, so you can get out of there. But some people get it, like the idea that you know, it's like, if you can make 50 grand on your own, you don't need me. But if you can use my resources and my network, I mean, essentially, like, you've got something to send money to, right? Or Josh just opened up the Simple Programmer affiliate program. There you go, right? It's like, you know, that's a way.
Right.
But anyway, I didn't mean to sidetrack.
I'll offer the audience the same thing, only the less extreme version. If you can make me $50,
oh, you're gonna.
No. But seriously, I love the idea, and if somebody came along and you know, I mean, I desperately need help with my marketing, and if somebody came along and said, "Look, Derick, I'm going to send you, you know, $3,000-$4,000 worth of business over the next month," then absolutely, I would hire them on the spot to help me do that, as long as the profit was greater than the cost, even if it was, you know, a small percentage, 10-20%. Above what their cost would be, I would hire that person instantaneously, because if they can do that ahead of time and show me that they can take my existing material, what I have, and send that much more business to me, then I'm all for it.
Right. And think about it, it's kind of like a standing offer for any, like, if you think about it, like, let's say that you knew some billionaire or some millionaire that you wanted to work for, you wanted to mentor under.
Yeah, that's absolutely the best way to do that.
Yeah, you send one of these people, and they might not even care about 50 grand, but if you send them 50 grand worth of business, you're going to get them on the phone. Like they will hire you, they will mentor you. Like it's, and, you know, I mean, think about it, like take someone like, let's say that you're trying to connect with Grant Cardone, who's, you know, millionaire, right? If you go and you start selling his coaching programs, right, or his products, and you're not taking an affiliate commission, you're just like, look, I'm going to demonstrate that I've got, like, I can pedal, I'm going to go door to door or whatever, make you 50 grand worth of revenue. Here's how you can trace it back. I just did this. Yeah. He'll be on the phone with you. I guarantee you, like, that's, you know, that, and you'll have a job. So I think it's funny. I'm throwing the offer out there, obviously, but it's always been there. It's always been a standing offer. If you can offer value to a business, they're going to hire you.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, yeah. And if somebody emailed me even and said, here's a plan that will make you $50,000 within the next, you know, reasonable time frame, and it looks like it'll work, I mean, I'll give you what you need, right?
Right. Yeah. Execute the plan. Go ahead. Let's see.
Yeah.
Right. Because a lot of people have these brilliant ideas, right? I get emails every week from someone with their $1 million idea that I just need to go into business with them. And I'm like, okay, you've got like a 5-step thing here. You haven't even executed step 1. I mean, just, you know, I don't want to call anyone out, but someone emailed me and they followed up with me and they're like, hey, I'm going to be launching a YouTube channel in January, and I want to partner up with you and have you and do like a cross promotion with my channel. How many subscribers do I need to get in order to? And I'm like, you haven't started the YouTube channel. Don't worry about this shit.
WIIFM. What is in it for me?
But so many people come up with those ideas, and it's like, execute. If you get at least halfway through the execution of the steps, and then you're like, look, here's what I did. Like, if someone had the $1 million idea, and they're like, look, see, I set up this simple programmer site in Taiwanese, which someone did, right? And then they're like, now can we do business? I'm like, yeah. Now we can do business, right? Now it's like, you've actually taken steps. You've actually shown that you're executing on this plan. It might not be $1 million idea, but you're going with it. You're running. So, sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's good stuff. That's
But
phenomenal.
that's ultimately, I mean, so I'm going about it the other way, right? Where I'm screening people and saying, you know, these are the kinds of people that I want to work with, that I feel like will empower my business in these ways to get those kinds of goals, right? It's those kinds of outcomes. And I know what the outcomes I want are. I know what kind of values I'm looking for, you know, in people, because I know what didn't work with some of the other people that I've worked with in the past. And so, you know, and I know it's important to me. And so I can work on screening these people. But yeah, that's ultimately what it's about, right? Is I'm bringing somebody in who I think can get me that $50,000, or who can open up my time so that I can go get the $50,000.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Chuck, where did most of your screen applications come from? Were they Craigslist mostly, or Hire My Mom?
KSL Classifieds.
KSL Class. I have never heard of that before.
So KSL is the local TV and radio station.
Oh, okay.
KSL, Salt Lake.
Gotcha.
And they have their own.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So you basically placed the classified ad. Then. Yeah. You went old school. Good job.
Yeah, they have a jobs. So they have a classifieds, and then they have jobs that's connected to that. And by far, the majority of the people that came in from there. So most of the people that I've been talking to live within an hour or so of me.
That's great. Gary Halbert used to tell everyone, once, like, when you're starting out in business, you have to like place an order or place a classified ad, and for people to come stuff envelopes for you for your mailings. And like it will change your perspective forever, because you'll realize how many people there are that just desperately want work.
Oh yeah.
Like, throw themselves, like, desperately want this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's really been interesting. So KSL serves pretty much Utah, the majority of northern Nevada, Idaho, parts of Montana, pretty much all of western Wyoming,
So
And
it's your one radio,
chunk of
radio
Colorado.
station in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But
So
if you-
in between the Mississippi River and California, there are 2 radio stations. One in
Well,
Kansas,
If
and
some
then one
reason
in
that makes
Utah.
me feel
so
like
what are the other
Fallout.
big cities that are nearby? I mean, it's basically
Yeah.
Las
Yeah.
Vegas and Denver.
Right.
Right.
You know, and KSL, especially the classifieds and job boards. I mean, it serves all the way up into Boise and all of those areas too.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
It's feeling like a mix between Snow Crash and Fallout to me. Like,
Totally.
this is this is the Utah franchise we got.
Yeah.
it's really funny, but yeah. So I've
I'm
talked to
gonna start my
people from
people
all over
delivery
Utah.
service.
I've had a few people that were from like Houston and stuff, but almost all of the rest of them are all in Utah.
But yeah, you can't. This doesn't like you got to figure out a way to rack the shotgun though somehow on this
Yeah.
to knock
You
it
gotta,
down. I
gotta
mean,
get people to self-select out of your list.
yeah. Something
Yeah,
where
yeah.
and you want something where it's like you know developers get pissed off at the whiteboard interviews or the coding
Yeah.
interviews, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's a shotgun rack because it's like, yes, I hear you when you say that you're excluding a lot of qualified candidates that would do a great job, but
Yeah, but I'm not looking for qualified candidates.
well, that's
for
the
an
thing.
A-player candidate. That's what I'm looking for.
And the thing is, like, when you set the bar high, like you knock down a lot of people that would be perfectly fine. But if
Yeah.
you have a few scragglers left over, those are the cockroaches that survive the nuclear meltdown. Those are the ones that are actually, you know, that it's worth spending your time because you know that they have like a 90% chance of being good. Whereas
Pretty sure you just told us to hire cockroaches instead of A players.
you got to hit them hard. Like
ASL cockroaches.
Yes.
figure out some task or something that you can have them like book the
Yeah.
cheapest flight that they can for you from from somewhere to somewhere or something like that, where it's like think of like the task where you can evaluate and look at what they do and see how they think and how eager they are, right? Because like I think
I
that's
hear
something
what
like
you're
that.
saying, but the thing is that, I mean, ultimately, this is somebody that I'm going to be working with, you know, and they're going to be working for me 20, 30 hours a week, maybe even more, depending on how much time they have available and what my needs are. And so I really do need to talk to them. And I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a good way to rack the shotgun that is going to demonstrate that they're more likely to be an A player.
What's the purpose of this executive assistant for you? What do you specifically need them to help you with?
So essentially what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody who can help me manage the processes around the podcasts. So I've got it mostly automated as far as guests coming into the podcast, but afterward, I haven't found a great way to make that all work. So I need somebody to, you know, just kind of set up and manage all of that. And then the conferences, I have somebody that's been doing some of that, but I'm not sure how long-term she's going to be around. And I found her on UpWork, so I'm kind of trying to figure that out too. But yeah, just working with all of those people. And then, I mean, that's the majority of it right there. But all of the stuff, all of the administrative crap that I spend my time on instead of writing my book or writing code or interacting with the people that I really want to interact with, or the next person I hire doing all these phone screenings for me, you know, it's that kind of stuff. And so, I'm looking for somebody to take on a lot of that work. And
what do you have some specific examples of what that work is? Like, are you asking this person to send email to potential speakers or to speakers that have signed up and want to speak already? Or
yeah, so essentially, so one example is that post podcast episode process, right? So when the episode gets released, I need an email that goes out to the person that was on the show and anybody else who wants to promote the episodes. Honestly, I want them to build a group of people that are, you know, rabid supporters of the show that will tweet it too. And then basically let them all know, here you go, here's how you share it. and then do the follow-up with the speaker. You know, do you want to be on Java's my JS story or my Angular story, which is the second episode of the shows that I'm doing now? And you know, can you promote it? Do you have a mailing list? Is there some kind of cross promotion that we can do? Do you want to do a webinar? You know, start lining up some of these marketing opportunities that we can build off of having had them on the show.
All right. So
And
everything
then-
that you just told me is their first task for the interview process.
Yeah, I was gonna say what you could do would be record a 2-minute video, where you explain a slimmed down version of that, and then basically I would say maybe like have them draft an email, of some kind and save it as a PDF. Like just add a couple of extra steps that are a little odd or that require them to maybe research how do I save a PDF out of Microsoft Word. You know, like send me a PDF version of this email with X, Y, and Z in it, and maybe make them do a tiny bit of, throw something in there that's going to make them do a little bit of research.
See, the thing is, though, is that I don't feel like this really proves anything other than that they can write an email. And I feel like I can train but I can train somebody to do this.
But
so I'm much more interested in hiring somebody that has the right attitude, that is interested in sticking around long term, that my goals with my company align with their career goals.
All right.
I feel like that's much more important to me.
Let me put it this way.
Half the people that you have in your list won't be able to do that work, though. They won't know how to do it. You can get rid of half of that 73 list by having them go through that 20-minute exercise, and then you can focus your interviews down to the people who can do the work but will also have the right attitude.
Let me put it this way so that we can make sure that the dumpster fire is definitely going here. Pretend like you're a guy, okay, that is and you've got 2 scenarios. One scenario, okay, you've got 5 girls that are interested in you. In one scenario, you've got 20,000. Okay? If you're the guy that has 5, you want to interview each one of them, check for personality. You know, some of them are hotter and not as hot as the other ones. That's okay. But you're going to talk to all 5 of them. Okay. Just lost Josh on that. He's like, screw this. I'm done with this.
I'm out.
I'm done. All right.
This history doesn't want to
But okay. Now, if you're the guy with 2,000, you're only talking to 10s. And that seems really superficial and sexist and whatnot, but it's not, because when you have that many options, you know you're going to find a personality compatibility and a good person out of that if you just filter for 10. So now you've got maybe like 50, and you see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this: is you've got a lot of applications. You've got you're the pimp. You got a lot of action coming at your way, right? You got to filter that down. You got to say, I only want 10s. I'm sorry, like, I'm sure that we could be compatible and we could be fine, but because I've got this much action coming at me, I'm setting the bar high. I'm setting it to 10s. And so what I'm saying is, like, yes, you do. I'm not saying that you need to not interview them on the phone and check for personality. You need to check for personality. You can't just say, oh, this is the hottest girl, I'm picking her out, you know, to follow with my analogy. But what I'm saying, though, is that you need to figure out some way to filter that so that you can get down to those ones, and you can eliminate the ones that are absolutely not going to fit, or even just, I mean, heck, even if you just sent out one email and you said, okay, everyone who's applied for this job, reply back and tell me who you voted for and why. And then you could just like throw out the ones you don't like. Like, that's going to throw out 50% of them. And then that will at least, you know what I mean? Because you'll at least know, like, from a compatibility standpoint, if someone says something that really triggers you, you're not going to work with them. It's not going to work. Like, the environment it's not going to work. I mean, that's not as technical. But the other thing I would say too, with doing the job, is you need a second level rack. So you can't just, unless you're just going to pay everyone. So what I would say is that one of the dangers that I learned with UpWork was asking for free work as sort of a rack in the shotgun. You never want to do that, because when you do that, what ends up happening is you get people that don't have, it's like hiring government workers, right? Because what ends up happening is you get the people that can't get other work, or who are not very, so what you want to do is you want to figure out some kind of filter that's going to get you down to maybe like a reasonable number, like 10 or 15, and then you want to pay them like whatever you're paying them. I'm assuming you're paying them like 10 or 15 bucks an hour.
Yeah.
Now you want to say, okay, I'm going to, of these 10 people, I'm going to hire each one of them to do what Josh and Derick said, and I'm going to pay you 2 or 3 hours, or I'm going to pay you 30 bucks, or 2 or 3 hours worth of work to do this, and go do this, and then that will, and if you get that, like that's going to be that's going to be better than any resume, because if you get 10 people that submitted you that job, the key thing is, and this is the key, is you're going to be comparing them against each other. And even though, yes, anyone could do that, or you could train them to write an email, when you see the difference between the work quality and the work ethic, and how fast they get back to you and how long it takes them and the detail that they put into it between 10, and you're comparing apples to apples, you're going to be like so confident in your decision. You're going to be like, okay, these 2 or 3 people, they excel above the rest, and the other 7, they suck. I'm not even dealing with them. I'm calling these 2. I've got 3 good candidates. I'm going to talk to them, and I'm going to pick the best, and I've got an alternate in case one of them messes up. And I'm only saying this because this is how I got Rodrigo, my video editor, and he's just awesome.
Yeah, it's you're spending too much time. You're relying on yourself to be able to pick the A player out of a crowd. And you need to get them to step forward a little bit. Right. Like it's too hard. I think it's too hard from a judge.
What I would do.
See, I can't judge them off of their resumes. There's just not enough. I have to find some other way.
How many job applicants actually work out? It's like less than 50%. Like, so, most companies have this hiring process where you go through multiple interviews, and some abysmally low number of percentage of people actually end up working out and being a good fit. It's like somewhere between 30 and 50%, I think. So
I will tell you that just having them schedule their own phone screening.
Because
I sent them a schedule once link that weeded out about 2/3 of them there.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Right. So take that same idea. So you had them schedule their own phone appointment. That was a good start.
Yep.
Now give them somebody's name. Pick one of your guests that you've had on the show. Give them that person's name and say, send me a 1-page summary of who this person is and what they have going on in their professional life.
And how would we get in touch with them?
Right, and how would we get in touch with them? Yeah. Give them, tell them not to spend more than 30 minutes on it. It doesn't need to be polished and great. It just needs to be quick summary, quick notes, contact information, info about their professional career. That's going to weed out another big chunk. And after you've got those people weeded out, then you'll probably have maybe 5 or 6 people left, and you can pay the rest of them to do something more in depth.
Right.
The next stage of the interview.
Yeah.
I will tell you that the next time I do this, I'm not going. So I just asked them to submit their name, their email address, their phone number, and their resume. And next time when they submit, what they're going to submit is their name, their email address, their phone number, and a link to a YouTube video for their application.
That's rocking the shot.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yep.
And, but I hadn't seen that as a suggestion until after I had done all this work.
You know why? Okay, so that's great on a couple levels, because for one thing, they're going to have to figure out how to post a video on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to have to figure out how to record a video. And that's, that's going to require a little bit of hustle on their part and some extra effort. And I really like that. And it gives it gives you more, something a lot more tangible to judge from. It's like a phone interview, really.
It really is. But the other thing,
style.
Well, it raises the bar, but the other thing is that's more important than that is that resumes get polished and polished and polished and polished and polished.
Yeah.
And so for me, in my opinion, they're pretty worthless. I mean, they really are. But if I get somebody on a video and they're acting like themselves, some people are going to be able to, polish through the video too. But it gives me much more to go on when I'm weeding people out. And then I can just watch the videos, weed them out, and then do the phone screenings with the people that make sense. But I think I would have gotten far fewer applicants, and I would have gotten many more of the more qualified people who wanted the job.
It's fine. Great. Just don't screw it up now. I mean, just because you did, now is still the time, because this is the reason why this is so critical is because you just don't want to put the wrong person on the bus.
Yes.
Like it will cost,
absolutely.
especially in this role, because you're going to have to train them. And so like just whatever you can do now. I mean, if you're doing thinking that you're going to be able to talk to like 100 people on the phone and evaluate
I'm not going
who's
to talk
best,
to 100 people on the phone.
or however, like it's you got to figure out something though still at this point where you're going to still get that number down in order to or hire them for some kind of a short job, because I think it's going to be so critical that you get this, like it'll be worth the time. It's so much better to guard against getting the wrong person on the bus than it is to just get the person on the bus. That's the huge value there. So but
well, the way it's looking right now, I'm going to be doing phone screenings. I mean, today I have 13. I have like 4. And then next Wednesday, I have another like 4. And that's about it. Like anyone who's scheduled further out than that, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So by then, I'm going to be on to the next stage.
I've never done, I haven't really done this before. So this was like a first level screening, right? So
yeah, it's 15 minutes.
I'm just curious, how are you doing? Like, what are you asking and how's it
going?
how are they going so far?
I read this book called Who? And they have 4 questions, and then I've added a 5th one, and it's basically, look, are you, it's basically availability. I just want to make sure that they have the time to every week to do the job. But the first question is, what are your career goals professionally? And so what you're looking for there is, because somebody may say, well, I want to start my own blah, blah, blah business in a couple of years. That's a no-go for me. I want somebody who's going to be around for 5 to 10 years. I mean, I want somebody who's going to in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is like maybe they, well, I'm going to BYU. I have a few students from the local university that applied. And so they're probably not going to make the cut because, again, they're looking to build a career in something else. But then the next question is, what are you good at professionally? And I'm looking for them to talk about why they're good at the things that I need. And then the next question is, and I've really pushed people on this one, and that's, what are you not good at or not interested in doing professionally?
Yeah.
And they'll usually I get like 1 or 2. I haven't gotten any of the token, well, I'm too committed.
Yeah.
Because and the book actually talks about that and says that sounds like a strength to me. I need to know what you're not good at or what you're not interested in.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm not good at answering freaking stupid questions. That's all. But I'm not good at being polite when you're wasting my freaking time.
I can't stand meaningless BS in interviews. Jeez.
But I've gotten some really direct and frank feedback that has really helped. I've also had a few people complain about their past bosses, and they ruled themselves out really quickly.
There you go.
But it's
here's
so telling.
Here's this length of rope. What would you like to do? Would you like to tie it around your neck? And
and then the last question is who are your last 5 bosses, and how would they rate you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Interesting.
Cool. Interesting.
And that's been telling too. I had a few people complain about their bosses, or they really highlighted communication issues that they have, knowing it. And so, so they weeded themselves out. So anyway, and then the last question is, do you have 20 to 30 hours a week? Do you have any concerns about whether or not you're going to be able to, put in that kind of time? Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody to come in and do a whole bunch of this stuff.
Yeah. The only one I would really, the first one I'm not sure, like I would have a different, I would be looking for someone that is looking to start their business in 3 years or so. Like,
yeah, but see, you're looking, I mean, that's kind of the draw, and that's the personality you're looking for. And for me, I need somebody that I really want somebody that's going to stick around longer term.
Well, it doesn't mean they're not going to stick around longer term. It just means that they have ambition. Like, if you're providing a really good environment where they're growing, even though most people say they're going to start their business and they don't, but I think you have to be careful with that question, because you don't want to weed out. Again, it's the whole government contractor, the government employee thing, right? It's like government employees are great employees they're never going anywhere. It's because they can't go anywhere. It's not,
right.
I'm offending every government employee. That's like,
Yeah,
but you know it. You know you sleep at your desk, you lazy assholes. You know
I slept at my desk.
Come on.
Anyway,
I don't sleep at my desk. I have a bed in my office. Jeez.
But what it really tells me is it tells me their values, right? So I've had a few people basically say, I want to be in a position where I can grow and learn, and where I feel like I can be there for a long time, or where I feel like I can contribute, or things like that. And so, those are the kinds of people that I'm looking for more than the other. And the ambition for you is a value that you're putting up there as something that's really important to you. But for me, it's not. Like that kind of ambition, I like it, but it's not a critical thing for me.
I agree actually that for this role it makes sense to have somebody who's more like there are people that have an administrative temperament, and that's really what you want. You don't want somebody who's an entrepreneur, because you want somebody who can take initiative and follow through on things. But entrepreneurs in this role would probably tend to mirror your weaknesses and strengths.
Yes, that's exactly it. No, that's totally true, because entrepreneurs tend to be the outgoing, dominating personality.
Idea people.
That's me. And what I need somebody who's detail focused, who will look at processes, build processes, understand processes, make them better, and just get the freaking job done. And then, it doesn't mean that I'm curtailing any creativity, but their creativity is centered around how do we get this done better, and not what's the next big idea.
But see here, okay, so I get what you're saying, but hear this one out, and I'm curious on your guys' input, because I've debated this actually, so I'm not 100% certain. But suppose you had a Subway, okay, like a Subway sandwich shop, and you're going to hire someone to be a sandwich artist. Okay. So would you rather hire someone who's like, oh, you know what I want to do with my life? I want to friggin' work at Subway. I love making sandwiches. I just want to make sandwiches. That's what I want to do, dude. I want to make sandwiches. Or would you rather have someone who's like, okay, I'm going to night school and getting my MBA because I don't want to be making sandwiches for the rest of my life. And this is kind of a difficult question, because if you think about this, right? If you think about this, like what will really happen in reality is that sandwich guy, the guy that's ambition in life is to make friggin' sandwiches. He seems like the perfect match, but he's like, what he does is he goes and he makes his friggin' sandwiches, and then he goes home and he gets stoned and he gets wasted, and he comes into work late the next day, and he thinks it's also kind of funny to put weird things on people's sandwiches that shouldn't be on people's sandwiches, because that's his ambition in life. Whereas the MBA guy, he's like, you know what? I gotta freaking hustle. I gotta fucking work my ass off, and I'm gonna do a freaking fantastic job at this job. This is a shit job, but I'm doing the best job that I can because I need to get this. I need to keep this job, and I need to do this work in order to do my dream. And you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not a guarantee, but I feel like the guy that's got that ambition, that's like he's doing something else, that this is just a stepping stone in his life. To me, like in my experience, those are the people that it's like, this is a person that is mopping the floor, is doing everything. It's like values that. It's not a guarantee, but I don't know. That's where I'm kind of like,
if those were the only choices, then I would probably agree with you. But you're painting. You're painting two extremes in something that is very multidimensional.
Well,
right.
And you're
my
extrapolating.
dad, for example, has an employee. He runs the maintenance department at a small college. He has an employee that is a phenomenal manager. She can coordinate people's schedules. She can make sure people are at the right place at the right time, getting the right work done. But she cannot plan and look at the big picture and make the big decisions to save her life. Right. She is brilliant, absolutely critical part of my dad's team, because she can put together the schedules while my dad talks to the school administration and plans out the future of what needs to happen to make sure the school runs as well as possible from that maintenance perspective. So there's a multi-dimensional part of this where it's not just these two extremes that you've painted there. It's there's a lot more subtlety. There's a lot more options. I've worked with software developers that literally were just the 8 to 5 developer. They would go home, spend time with their family. That was the life that they wanted, because it allowed them to have that family time or that alone time or that whatever time they wanted to do the things that they wanted. And they were great developers in that 8 to 5 role. I knew I could count on them. I knew that I could show them the latest and greatest techniques, and they would pick it up and they would work it and they would get it done. They wouldn't be the one going out there to find that technique or that tool or whatever. But when I, the person who enjoyed that aspect, would bring it to them, they would get the work done and they would do it really well. And I had absolute trust in them. So there is that level of person who wants that 30 hours a week job, but they want to have their life outside of that job, and in the job they will get the work done really well. It's just it can be difficult to find that person, because there is the chance that they will be the I just want to scrape by and then go do my thing and all that. So that's why you have to get those weedings.
Well, and the case in point is basically for me. I remember watching during the Olympics. They, like Lowe's or Home Depot or something had a commercial, right? And they're like, these are the Olympians that work at Home Depot. Like, they work in a store and they help people find the tools that they want, right? That's their full-time job. But their other full-time job is being an awesome skier. And so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody who has that level of excellence in all the things that they're doing. Right. And they don't have to be aspiring to be the store manager or aspiring to work at corporate at Home Depot. I want somebody who is going to be steady and have those values that line up with what I want and what I need. And so I feel like if somebody is happy to build the most beautiful sandwiches in the world and is happy to see people enjoy the meal when they go sit down, and then they're out there doing something else that is their excellence in another area, I'm totally fine with that. And what I'm really looking for is somebody who is looking for the stability that is provided by Subway or me. Right. And at the same time, doesn't necessarily have to have that ambition to go out and build a business. Now, they're going to kind of do some of the build a business stuff because I'm doing it and I'm going to have them do some of it. But at the end of the day, I don't need somebody with that level of ambition. I need somebody who is going to be around and is going to want to invest in my business and do the things that I need.
You want somebody who has excellence and finesse and quality and drive to make your business as successful as possible, but they don't necessarily need to have that entrepreneurial, I'm going to build my own business perspective.
But if they want to grow and learn and
absolutely,
all of those other things, if they have those values, then it's my job, if I want to keep them, to provide those to them as part of their job. However, as long as I understand that and I'm doing that, they're going to be around for 5 or 10 years. And I really feel like I can do that and I can provide that, because things are going to change here. And, it's kind of an adventure that we get to go on together. But they've got to be willing to invest in the process and go out and do some of the adventure things with me.
And that's where I misspoke. I'm not saying that that entrepreneurs are who you want. I'm just saying that, like, someone, I guess what I'm really looking at is, like, they have to have some kind of ambition somewhere else. I firmly believe how you do anything is how you do everything. And so, like, if you have someone who says, "Oh, I'm training for a marathon," right, for example, or I'm highly involved in Toastmasters, or like they're an achiever, I guess is what I would say. And so if they say, "Hey, I'm starting my own business, I'm doing all this like in 3," like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, it doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, but they have to have a vision for themselves in 3 years. Like, if they're like, if someone's like, "Well, I'm going to work this job," I would rather hire someone, if given the choice, that's like, "Okay, I'm only going to be here for 3 years because I'm running for president after that," or something like that. Like, I'd rather hire that person because they're going to kick ass for 3 years than someone who's like, here's what I'm looking for, dude. I need like a job for like the next 15 or 20 years because I don't know, like I just want stability. That's not the person I want. I don't. Sorry, like yeah, it's great, but you don't have the ambition either. So there's kind of this balance, like finding the person that's you know the person who's going to do you like I don't know. As a software developer, like being on the other side of it, we're like working for companies. Like I've worked for companies for only like a couple of years, but during those 2 years, I kicked so much ass during those 2 years that it was like it would be stupid to say, well, we should have hired the guy that was going to be here for 10 years that sucked, or that did an average job, right? It's like so that's what I kind of look for on the other side. It's like, but it's a very, very difficult balance because, like I said, you don't want someone that necessarily has ambitions that they're not going to do a good job, that they just want to do their own thing and they want to leave. But at the same time, you got to find the person that's not the kind of government employee that is just looking for stability, and they're just going to be a hanger honor. You don't want hanger honors.
So let me give you a little bit more information about most of the people that I got applied. Probably half to 3/4 of the people that applied are stay-at-home moms who are looking for some part-time income. And so when I ask them this question, I've been getting a lot of people who are saying, well, you know, I want to feel like I'm growing and learning and contributing, but you know, that as far as like advancing in their career outside of that is kind of on hold because they're stay-at-home mom and they're taking care of kids, and they don't feel like they can go out and do a full-time thing and grow their career the way that career people do. And so it's really been interesting to talk to them and kind of get this view on, okay, well, when the kids are gone, what do you want? And it's, you know, and then it's like, okay, so how do I fit into this? And that's been very telling. And some people have really kind of got that in their head, and they know where they want to be. And some people really don't. And it's funny because I've screened out some people just because they really didn't. I didn't feel like they really knew what they wanted, and they didn't see how what I was doing fit with what they wanted to do. And so there was that disconnect in a way that told me, so you know, in a year or 2 years, something else is going to come up, and they're going to go, oh, I want to be there.
Yeah,
right now I'm envisioning Office Space, that scene where Jennifer Aniston's boyfriend is now working at Chachi's because it's part of his 5-year plan.
I'm envisioning this lady, this kind of butch lady, like at home smoking a cigarette, like her kid. She's got like a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, and she's got a whiskey bottle, and she's like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm talking to the phone to Chuck. All right, shut up, little shit." It's like, don't make me smack you again. All right, yeah. I totally could do the job. You know, I'm really good with people, and I love my kids so much. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you again.
So, what is it you would say you do here?
Yeah, I didn't mean to monopolize this with the discussion on who and how to hire, but I think it'll really help some folks.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. But I do have a hard stop in 10 minutes because that's when my next phone screening is. So.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a small thing I'm doing. I decided a week or two ago that I'm going to do an ebook for Docker recipes for Node.js development. Nice. And I'd originally thought I was just going to do it the same way I've done my other ebooks, where I'm just going to write it, publish it on the EPUB, and start talking about it once I start publishing it. But then my other mastermind group suggested I take the pre-sale approach and start getting early feedback and early involvement to really make sure the book is heading in the right direction. So I'm going to do that instead. I've already got a book cover, which I'll paste into the chat so you guys can see it, but it'll be up on my blog by the time this episode airs on Tuesday. This is going out Monday. But the gist of the blog post is to say, okay, here's this ebook that I'm going to be writing, but I need your help. I need you to be involved in this. And in January, I'm going to open up pre-sales for this so that, you can get this thing at a discount early, but B, so that you can provide feedback, join the conversation, be involved in asking questions and getting up to speed with Docker so that I can make sure that this book is moving in the right direction. So I'll be talking about this ebook more and the ideas of how I'm going to do this pre-sale over the next 3 or 4 weeks before I launch the pre-sale sometime in January. I'll have the pre-sale open for a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks maybe, talk about it more during that period of time. And then once I cut off the pre-sale, then it'll be whatever group of people I have. And if I don't get enough pre-sales, then I might just scrap the book entirely. But if I do get enough pre-sales and I get some good feedback from people and good questions, then I'll move forward with the book and start doing the real launch of it with LeanPub publishing and getting early sales there, and then building up to the larger launch of it with the rest of my Docker stuff on Watch Me Code.
Can I recommend to you that you put together some kind of plan or procedure for this so that you know what the dates are, what the expectations are, and
absolutely
that way I'm going to do this on this date and this on this date and this on this date, and these are the outcomes that have to occur in order for me to know what the next step is.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm going to be focusing on basically during Christmas break. I had originally planned on writing the book during Christmas break, but with you saying that and with the other mastermind groups saying I need to focus on the marketing and the pre-sale side of things, that's definitely what I need to be doing, getting that plan in place so that I can tell people about it, but also hold myself to it so that I can get make this work and make it work right. Set the kind of goals that I can actually accomplish, because I know I've had in the past a lot of problems with setting goals of like, I want this much income, which is not really a goal that I can control. So I can set the kinds of goals where I'll have this many have these procedures written and done and in place, and have this many chapters written, and have and set the stages where if I get X number of people in pre-sales, then I'll continue, or I won't, or set those kinds of specific things so that I don't have these hemming and hawing decisions and what do I do and should I or not, but have actual set levels where it'll make the decision for me.
Yeah, you can set income goals, but you have to definitively know what works.
Right.
So you can double or triple your effort in those areas.
Yeah. So the income levels is like the outcome. Okay, I have a goal. I want to see an outcome of $10,000 from this book, and I know that if I get this many readers at this price, I will get that $10,000. So how do I get that many readers at that price? Well, those are going to be the goals. Those are going to be the steps that I take to move myself toward that $10,000.
Yeah.
I just got to say, looking at the cover for your book, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I want to be one of your stick figure people. They just look so damn. It's not that they look so damn happy. They just look so. It's like a joy. Like I just love what I am doing at the computer right now. I
can't imagine doing anything else with my life. Stirring this giant
Chuck
pot
needs to hire
of liquid.
Derick, you just need to draw Chuck a VA or a PA. And then,
there we go.
Exactly.
Yes. Like, look, in fact, that's your shotgun, Chuck. It's like, I want you to take a picture of yourself trying to look as happy as a stick figure person doing my work. Like, if you, I'm talking fulfilled at the deepest level from doing this, like mixing this pot. Like, I don't know how you do it, Derick, but like, you just something about how you draw the eyes, or that, like, it's very few strokes, but it's like every single one of your stick figures, they're just like so. You capture emotion in a very small amount of stroke. It is actually. I mean, I'm joking, but it's actually amazing. Like, you have a talent for capturing emotion in stick figures. Like, I never thought I'd ever be saying that, but it's honestly true.
Well, I appreciate that. That's pretty awesome to hear.
Didn't mean to sidetrack from your.
No.
I think the book is a good idea too. So.
I think the process is going to be a really good idea too. I'm pretty happy about that other mastermind group convincing me to do it this way, because looking back at a lot of the things I've done this year and the failures that I've had, I've realized that a big part of why they've been such failures is because I've done, all this upfront work in a vacuum and then just put this thing out there and said, why the crap isn't anybody caring about this or wanting it? And looking at 2015 and 2014, I did the exact opposite. I talked about everything constantly. I blogged about it. I tweeted about it. I talked about it on EntreProgrammers. I talked about these things constantly for months at a time before I did the real big launch sequence. And I think that's like a big missing factor in what I was trying to do in 2016. And that's what I need to correct. That's like the next thing that I need to fix. And I'm going to be starting that with this experiment on this ebook.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It can be tough, like, because when you're putting, how much work it's going to be just to do the freaking launch, right? And to think about adding onto that all this, like, feedback. Like, I don't want people to tell me my baby's ugly, because that means I'm going to have to do all this extra work to fix it before I can even start the process of doing the huge, big launch.
Yeah.
So it's definitely very tempting to just work in your cave.
It is. And that's what I've done in the past, and it's worked out okay for me with previous ebooks. I mean, my Backbone ebook brought in like $30,000 for me over a couple years, and the RabbitMQ books have brought in probably close to $6,000 or $8,000 total over the last year. But I know I can do better than that, and I've seen the mistakes I've made this year, and I have to put in the same level of effort and improve the process that I've done in the past.
Yep. I've got to bail, so I'll talk to y'all next week.
All right, Chuck.
Got a quick thought for us, Chuck?
What was that?
You got a quick thought for us, or quip?
Honestly, the big thing for me lately has just been figure out these procedures. They don't have to be perfect, but if you have them and you know what you want to do and how you want to do it and when you want to do it and what the timelines look like. I mean, this is paying off big time for me on DevOps Remote Conf, which I didn't really talk about today, but it's been huge. And just having somebody in there to kind of help you through it and go, okay, now do this, and then they ask all the dumb questions that you didn't think about, and then you just work through it and make it happen.
Yep.
And then work the system. Yep.
All right, go screen some people.
Yes.
Have fun. Make those stay-at-home moms cry.
Good luck, Chuck.
That's what I'm good at. Bye.
I guess we should probably, I got to get going too here, because I got a guy coming to organize cables in my house.
Oh, you found someone. Awesome.
Yeah, on Craigslist. So
cool.
Yeah, I could use a little bit of that myself. Jeez. Rat's nest of garbage behind my monitor right here and in my living room behind my TV. It's nasty.
So my thought would be, I basically screwed up this week, like trying to take some time away after I finished the book, because I was like, I'm gonna kind of not work as hard or whatever. Yeah, but I changed that. Now I'm like, okay, this week is it. I'm finishing it up. I'm defining exactly what needs to be finished up, where the stopping point is. I'm finishing up all this shit. It's done. And then the next 2 weeks, I'm not gonna do. You see, I'm not gonna be halfway in the water, because that was way more stressful. This week was one of the most stressful weeks I had, because I was trying to balance those, and I felt guilty no matter what I was doing.
Right.
So bam, that was just horrible idea. Never doing that again. From now on, if I'm taking a break, I'm taking a break.
Right.
I'm defining what needs to be done and where the stopping point is, and then that's it. So that was my thought.
That's absolutely agree with that. Make those decisions and get it done and do it.
I will say that TSA PreCheck is awesome. I traveled yesterday.
It is.
And I walked through security in about 30 seconds, and nobody even noticed my box cutter. So, no. It's totally worth it. It's like $75 or something, like some pitiful amount of money. If you fly more than once a year, it is like non-negotiable.
Yep. Totally agree. They basically don't give a crap. They're like, hey, you got a bomb? Yeah, I got a bomb. All right, buddy, let's go. You don't have to take off your shoes. Yeah, I know that.
Nice. My thought for the week is don't get pneumonia. I woke up last Sunday, I guess almost 2 weeks ago Sunday, with a fever of 101.8, coughing up large mouthfuls of garbage from my lungs. It was nasty. Ended up at the doctor 3 prescriptions later. Feeling better, mostly better now, but still dealing with the chest cold that started all of it to begin with. But yeah, it's, take care of yourself. Be cognizant of the things that cause your health to plummet rapidly, and take care of it sooner rather than later, like I didn't.
Yep. Well, your excuse for not showing up last week.
Pretty much. Still recovering from that.
All right, guys.
All righty.
See you next week.
All right. See ya. Oh, wait. I don't think I'll be here for the next 2 weeks.
Okay. We'll I guess we'll coordinate over email.
Yeah. Okay.
All
See you
right.
guys.
Wanna start a business, but you just know how to code. Listen to John, Josh, and Derick as we